Hey friends, welcome to the channel. If you want to know what I've learned doing the Lingoda Super Sprint challenge and how to do it yourself successfully, you found the right video. Los geht's! My name is Dustin, I'm an IT project manager from Germany. On this channel we create content that helps us to be more productive, to learn new things, especially languages, and to live a happier and more fulfilling life. Today we'll be talking about the Lingoda Super Sprint challenge. I have participated in that and done 60 sessions in a row, each day one. For more information on what the challenge actually is, please have a look at the other video I have made, and I will link it somewhere here most likely. In this video, we will first walk through my learnings doing the Lingoda Super Sprint challenge and also my experiences and sentiments, the good as well as the bad. Further, I will provide some useful tips to make sure that you can also succeed the Lingoda Super Sprint challenge if you want to do it. And next we will review my level of Spanish and what I have done other than Lingoda, as well as how much time I have spent in total. And in the end, we will also do a conclusion to see if you should also try the Lingoda Super Sprint Challenge or Lingoda in general, and what comes next on my Spanish learning journey. Alright, let's dive into today's... wait. First, a nice sip of coffee. Okay, let's dive into today's topic. Okay, Lingoda learning and experience. First of all, I've learned a lot about teaching. What makes a good teacher and what not? Especially when teachers were authentic and positive and laughing. Those were the best. Also when they would encourage you to talk all the time and only correct what's necessary to not steal away courage from you. It's not easy to know what to correct at which stage and what not, because it depends on the level of language that someone has. Doing a challenge like this, like speaking each day for 60 days and learning a language for 60 days, will definitely help you to push your limits and boundaries. Once you have done that, speaking once a week or so feels really easy in contrast, and as mentioned, it could be a nice head start into a new language, or after a pause you can get back into a language quickly again. I'm normally all about doing a little each day, but this sprint really showed me that it's also a good idea to use shorter periods of time in which you do some intensive learning that is way out of your comfort zone. Also, to sit down and fully focus is really powerful, and when you're forced to do so each day for an hour, it becomes a great way to improve in a foreign language. Next, I've learned that it's so valuable that you receive feedback from professional teachers, because it ensures that you don't do the same errors again and again. So during the challenge, and especially at the beginning, I felt really nervous before each lesson actually. But when you do one lesson each day, then it becomes quite normal and it gets easier and easier. It's a challenge to plan your day around your Lingoda sessions, even if there are many time slots to choose from. Normally I keep my weekends as free as possible from commitments like this, so this stressed me a little. On the other hand, it feels good if you start early in the morning and have already done your Lingoda session. You feel quite productive. Also, it's nice to have each day people to talk to when you are in a home office situation like me, for example. Normally I have many meetings each day, but sometimes you only have a few, and then it's especially nice. One lesson got cancelled just before it started, which has been a shock for me, but I could find another one, which was nice. Other than that, the teachers have been always on time, except one time when the teacher got stuck in an elevator. But yeah, can't blame him for that. He showed up later and ran the session longer, and he did a great job anyway. Lingoda doesn't have an app. That would also be a great addition, that you could do the exercises and lesson prep or review afterward within an app, or to also have the vocab as an export that I could put them directly into Anki or so. Some way to make the learning easier. It's not cool that you can't connect with the other learners outside of Lingoda. You would need to share contact details within the lesson, but there's no way afterward to find out who is who. I guess that's the case because of data protection. Nevertheless, it would be cool if you would have a sort of community behind it. At one occasion, I just shared my phone number in the chat, and thus we can stay in contact afterward. Also, it would be cool if you could mark teachers as your favorite to easier see which lessons they are doing. For example, there have been Yuli or Lorenzo who are really cool. Greets to you too. And of course, there have been others. Book your lessons early because of the time slot availability. If you register yourself for a lesson a week early, then you will have a lot of slots available, which will then be filled by teachers. The only downside is here that you have no influence which teacher you'll get. Not fully at least. Often you have similar teachers and similar time slots. Before you register yourself for the Lingoda Super Sprint Challenge or also the regular Sprint Challenge, make sure that your calendar is not too crazy filled. Probably choose a time frame in which you don't travel or have other work commitments that make you do so. We have to be realistic and not get burned out. Further, it's cool to start a language with Lingoda, but I think maybe it's an even better investment of time and money when you are already intermediate or advanced. The whole basics of a language you can actually teach yourself and also build a solid comprehension. For me, it has been overall fine because I knew already French and Italian, and if you do a super sprint and don't have to invest money, really it's a cool thing. It can be a nice head start into a new language. Next one, check if there are others who have registered themselves for a lesson upfront, because otherwise it can happen that last minute your session gets cancelled within the hour before the session. And then you might have a hard time to get the sprint done. I needed to take a lesson that was way more advanced than usual to get the sprint done. Next one, the app Drops is a good addition to Lingoda because it can help you to reinforce things like the week's names, time, months, or for example counting. It's a low effort activity to learn with Drops, and it will help you a lot with the lessons. I've already made a video about that and I'll link it somewhere here. Make also sure to work on your comprehension outside of Lingoda by using an app like Link, for example, or consume beginner content in written and spoken form in another way. Maybe you can use that time to listen to content, because by spending at least 1 hour a day on Lingoda, that's already a serious time commitment, and I can fully understand that you can't make even more time for studying. I've made already a video on how to find time for language learning, and I will also link it somewhere here. Next, it's nice that you meet the same people over and over again. So if you use similar time slots, you will meet the same persons over and over again. And it's just a pleasant feeling because you will be able to connect a little bit and to get to know each other a bit better. First of all, within Lingoda you learn not one specific dialect, but you learn Spanish from a global point of view, like all forms and also expressions from all over the globe. This helps you to get a broader understanding, but it can also be a detriment if you try to build one specific accent. So that's something you probably need to keep in mind and to actively work on that if needed. So what I've done in total. Before Lingoda, I have only spent a few hours on working on my accent to not fully mess it up. Besides that, I've been a complete newbie, except that I have already spent significant amounts of time on other Romance languages like French and Italian. In Lingoda, I've done the 60 sessions and thus spent 60 hours in total, or a little bit more even, because I've done also some review and other activities in Lingoda. I finished the A1.1 and started with A1.2. Further, each day I've spent 5 to 10 minutes on Drops to work on my accent also and to get some basic vocabulary in. I've prepared myself for the lessons and also learned by using flashcards with Anki. I have put in the vocab from the Lingoda sessions to my Anki deck, and I have also one Anki deck to work on my accent and the IPA. Further, I have learned a bit with the mini stories at Link, for also about 5 to 10 minutes each day max, because I just have so much time. And then I've also started listening to the Duolingo Spanish podcast, and I can highly recommend that one. How much time I've spent in total on Spanish? So by now it's a little bit over 90 hours in total, consisting all the activities mentioned earlier. So what can I do now with Spanish? I can present myself, like telling who I am, what my name is, of course, what my job is, what I like doing, and etc, etc. And that gets reinforced because at each session at the beginning you need to tell that kind of. So That's a really good way to get you speaking. I can also ask or tell the time, the weather, what someone is doing, etc. I can use numbers, order coffee, arrange a meeting, or talk about my schedule. Further, I can talk about my likes and dislikes in Spanish, do grocery shopping, navigate public transportation, and talk about vacation in Spanish, and also many other smaller topics. I've also built up some comprehension and can follow along with easy conversation and what the teachers are actually talking about. To do a short intensive course like Lingoda is great and can really help you to boost your level of language. Going forward, I want to do more challenges like this, like speaking each day a specific language, or probably also something in a different domain, like learn to play an instrument in 30 days. I found this 30-day banjo course on YouTube, for example. Please leave me a comment if you want me to do that. I would be happy to document it here for you as well. Or if you want me to do any other challenge, just let me know and I'll be glad to be your guinea pig. I'm not a fan of school exercise kind of language learning in general, but Lingoda really works out due to the small class sizes and the interesting material. I'm honestly impressed, and I'm not sponsored at all by Lingoda. Nevertheless, I would really like to be so on the other hand. I have also learned that it helps massively to have studied other Romance languages before. It is still important to consume massive amounts of comprehensible and compelling input to build up your comprehension and assimilate the language. That I will for sure proceed to do in the future. Talking about the future, what am I going to do next? I got still a shit ton of notes from all my lessons that I want to transform into Anki cards and practice. There's further a tool called Language Transfer that I can only highly recommend to anybody who is learning languages. It's an audio course or audio courses which are completely for free and one of the best language learning resources out there. I think I will use focused time to sit down and work through the lessons to improve further my Spanish. Then I'll also proceed using a link each day to work through the mini stories and other content. Further, to increase my vocab and work on my pronunciation, I will also keep using drops each day for 5 to 10 minutes. And to have some more comprehensible and compelling input to listen to, I found the Duolingo Spanish podcast I mentioned earlier, and it has just the right level for me at the current point in time. And they are so pleasant to listen to, so my recommendation for sure. And at some point I also want to work on a comprehensive script to memorize about the different parts of my life that are important to me, to be able to speak about the most common topics with ease. Would I do it again? Yes, definitely. I can also imagine to use Lingoda again in the future, but for now I'll probably take a break to recharge. To do it each day is quite a commitment. Please let me know in the comments if you will also do a Lingoda Super Sprint challenge, or if you have already done it. And if yes, do you have any additional advice on how to succeed in the challenge or how to make the most of it? If you found the video useful, please leave me a like, the subscription to the channel, and to not miss anything going forward, click also on the notification bell. Thank you very much for watching and see you the next time.